Okay guys, so we got finally the first V-Jump scans for the new DLC 5 for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and it's looking pretty damn delicious. So this is from, as always, DBS Hype Guy. My guy, as always, appreciate your hard work. This was literally just published like 3 hours ago, and it's quite the cool thing. I have here the translation, which is pretty awesome, and it doesn't really tell a lot about the story itself, as in the side quest, but it gives us some information in terms of the backdrop of the game, and we can see some of the models. So as you can see here, let's just go here and check this out. So we finally have some of the models here, which are obviously look younger and look more like more like newbies and stuff. We have Chi-Chi here in the background as well. We have Lunch here. Lunch hasn't been like shown in the manga or anime or this for like a long time, so having her back here is just awesome. With Roshi as well, Wulong, so it's really cool. Now, in terms of the fight, this image here is quite interesting, guys, because this already shows something quite unique. As you can see here, you have Piccolo Jr. actually doing the special attack there, where he kind of like becomes bigger. We know it's a bluff because it actually doesn't increase his power; it's just for show, so it kind of like intimidates your enemy, but it doesn't really change his power per se. And we have here like a red area underneath, so this could be like the hotspot zone, as in he's going to attack that area and you have to dodge out of the way. So automatically, because you have to dodge and it's on the floor, that means that ground mechanics are pretty much confirmed. Because, it wouldn't be the red hotspot. What's the point of the red hotspot if you can just fly through it? It just doesn't make any sense, right? So Goku is going to be literally 100% grounded, 100%. And as you can see here, he's standing on the floor and he has to either defend or dodge, and the combat is going to be on the floor. So finally, there's going to be floor combat mechanics in the game. And that's really exciting. I can't wait to see how it actually works, because they might bring back some of the mechanics from the Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm, potentially. Maybe that's the case. They're just going to bring in some mechanics and just make the combat in the arena be very similar to the Storm games, potentially, right? And then we have here, obviously this is a cutscene, and we have here Goku like looking at Piccolo looking at Goku. This is just so awesome, like damn awesome. And it says the following: the battle of the fate of the world begins. Alright, here the characters here. So it's really cool. We have Yamcha here, young as well. Krillin, Tenshin Han is all pretty young here with the scar and everything. So it's really cool. It says here, group of obstacles in the Tenkaichi martial arts where the strong gather. He was planning to conquer the world again. The whereabouts of the fight with Goku. So the place where he fights is in the tournament Tenkaichi. Now we have here that this is interesting because here we have the events. So a number of events have risen. The 23rd heaven, the story of Ichibudokai, the obviously the tournament, right? So we have here, there's actually, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fights potentially, right? So there's about 6 fights in total, right? So there's 6 fights which are happening in the end. So that means that effectively there could be a number of fights. I'm not sure if we're going to fight against all the enemies ourselves, or we're going to just control Goku, or we may be able to control Piccolo. It would be really cool if we can actually control Piccolo, because that would just be awesome. Just give us that like villain and hero like twist. So we're really cool, to be honest. But we shall see. We shall see. It says here, of course, with the big demon king sleepy for 3 years, Goku has grown into the one who appeared before us. So obviously that means this one here. So obviously this whole thing here, the translation is pretty rough because it's just an automatic translation. So sorry about that. But in a nutshell, what it means is that Goku is going to show up young. Now this is interesting because remember, this doesn't really mean that they're just going to skip and not do any of the training, because it could be that they still cover the training in the castle in Kami-sama Outlook, so they could still cover that with Mr. Popo. That could be an option. Or they're just going to start from here, and then after this DLC finishes, then there's going to be like an epilogue where Goku and Chi-Chi maybe have like certain side quests together, and that could be a possibility as well, right? So yeah, I think the way the game is going to play, there's not just going to be the tournament, because that's just way too short for a DLC. So the tournament is going to be that kind of like 80%, and then the 20% is going to be certain side quests and the epilogue, same as in the Bardock DLC. We had the story of, you know, Kid Vegeta, and then you had the challenges at the end, so it kind of gave you some more gameplay after the story was finished, right? Now guys, that's it for today's video. Now there is no release date for this DLC, unfortunately. I'm very sorry, nothing has been confirmed as of yet, but I am pretty sure we will get something eventually. We'll get something eventually, and I'm hoping that the DLC release date is going to be somewhere about potentially looking at April, May, most likely, because if you go to the data on Steam, it's looking pretty positive. So on Steam, guys, we have that the dev release 2.0 is actually being again updated last night, yesterday, and the development for 1.92 is already kind of like been there in the background for a while. So the development on 2.0, which is the DLC 5 most likely, is going pretty well. As you can see here, there's lots of changes happening here, lots of builds being introduced and everything like that. So they're really hard in that, they're really hard in making sure that this actually happens. So I believe that most likely we're going to see the DLC 5, like I said before, release at some point April, May, maybe something like that. That's my personal feeling. It could come earlier, it could come in March, for example. Obviously I would be really happy with that, but my gut feeling is that it's going to be at some point in April. But guys, that's it for today's video on the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot DLC 5, the 23rd Budokai Tenkaichi tournament. See you guys in the next video. Bye.